When Flair took the belt up there, it wasn't that long after that that I got to go to New York and be Razor. And Razor was getting a big push. And so they put me with Perfect. You know, Curt Hennig he was on disability, so he was retired, and he was in a great spot. He was an announcer. He already had the reputation as being a great wrestler. So he was a kind of liaison between the boys in the office. He worked with Vince on the Superstar shows as an announcer. He was with Heenan, he was with Flair, and they put me with those guys. So that's about as high as you can go on the heel totem pole at that time.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that now they did weeks and weeks of vignettes of Razor before they go in there, and my dreams are coming true. They're going to push the heck out of me, and I'm really happy about it because Curt has helped me from the AWA days, and he's continuing to help me. Now he's telling me, you know, how to get over with Vince, what to do in the ring, no wasted motion. You know, don't just do something because you can. You know, don't just do a move to a guy because you can. And like he taught me, because back in those days there were squash matches. You know, you'd have a guy from the audience against a guy who was getting paid to wrestle. And Curt said, don't go out there and hammer a guy with a bunch of devastating moves because you got to wrestle for 4 or 5 minutes. He'd say, hit the guy with one thing and then just stand there and go, look at you now. Look at you. And I stole from Curt to just pushing your toe on the guy, just go, look at you. You know, because you don't want to keep hitting the guy with devastating stuff because you're killing your stuff off.
Yeah.
So Curt taught me that. He said, everything you do has to have a purpose. No wasted motion. Don't run around. Always act like you know what you're doing. You know, like when you're in the ring, he taught me that you can't afford to buy that kind of TV time. Like every time you're out there, it's a commercial for you.
Huh.
So take your time, look in the camera, move slowly. But then when you do something, do it explosively, but then look around, because Vince's key camera guys are slick. They ain't going to miss it. You know,
yeah.
They're going to catch it. You do something cool, it's going to be on TV. So he taught me that, but I remember that now I'm with Flair, Curt, and Bobby Heenan. And so now, my first angle is going to be against Randy Savage, against Macho. It's Machismo against Macho. So, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, now they set it up by doing it in Wembley at SummerSlam. They injured Randy's leg. So the whole storyline now is Randy has an injured leg, Flair does a figure 4. They're going to take the strap off Savage and put it on Flair. Now, we're in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the angle is supposed to be they're wrestling. At a certain point, I'm supposed to go, Savage is going to go to the floor. I'm going to come out. Vince wants me to kick him in the leg one time, throw him in. Flair's going to put him in a figure 4. Randy's going to not give up, but pass out. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. So
we're there, and I'll never forget this. I'm standing there waiting by the gorilla position because I'm going to, you know, I have to go when I'm told to go. And I don't know if Vince did this to teach me a lesson or just because that's the way he felt. But they go out and they wrestle for about 10, 15 minutes, and he sends Heenan out. He goes, go out there and get them back here. Because this is before live TV. Heenan goes out, says something to him, they both come back to the back. And Vince reads them the riot act. What the F is that? You look like two jabronis out there. I told you to work his leg from the beginning, blah, 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 blah. And I'm standing there going, whoa. That's Ric Flair and Randy Savage getting yelled at. What if I screw up? You know? Holy shit. You know what I mean? I'm not sure the ink's dry on my contract yet. Holy cow. And he's yelling at these guys are major players. And so he sends them back out and tells him work his leg from the beginning. The whole storyline is his leg is injured, work his leg, work his leg, work his leg. So Rick does. They send me out. I kick him in the leg. I roll him back in. Rick goes another 5 minutes before putting the figure 4 on.
Wow. Vince
is furious. By the time the thing airs, I kick him in the leg, roll him back in. He's in a figure 4. It's over. But I remember when we're sitting in a little conference room talking about the meeting, you're talking about the thing with Flair and the belt. This is where this long rambling story is going. Is that I remember kicking when they're talking about doing it because I didn't like Flair because he was in control of my career when I was in WCW, and I didn't like the way he was treating me. You know. And so, like at the same time, when you don't have anything, you have power. You know, Razor hadn't made a dime yet, so I ain't afraid to say, fuck you, Flair.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, fire me? Shall I go back to the strip club? And they're talking about doing a thing, because I've been talking to Curt about, man, wait a minute, how do we know we can trust Flair? You're gonna put Vince's belt on Flair? He took Atlanta's belt. Like, this is the guy you want to carry your banner? Because I didn't like Flair, so I didn't really want to play on his team. And I was about to tell Vince, you sure you trust this guy? Because he's the guy who fucked Turner Broadcasting. So I'm starting, and then Vince goes, is there any questions? And Curt put his foot on mine and tapped me on the foot like, don't say anything. Because I was about to go, yeah, I got a question. You sure you can trust this guy? But Curt gave me the office with his foot, so I didn't say anything. But that's my answer to you. I agree. I thought it was completely unprofessional and very wrong of Ric to take the belt. That's not the way Ric does business. Now, I don't know the backstory. Maybe they screwed Ric over and he felt the need to do that. I don't know Ric's side of it. I just know as a wrestler that's the wrong thing to do. Like when me and Kev left Vince to go to WCW, we did jobs on the way out. We did jobs in Madison Square Garden. Nobody ever did jobs on the way out when they were high up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't have to, but it was the right thing to do. We didn't want to screw the fans.